How's it going, guys? It's me, Richie Plunker from the Puppet Geek, and today, guys, I got you another gaming keyboard review, this time by SteelSeries, and it's the Apex gaming keyboard. So let's take a closer look at it. Inside the box, what you get is a beautiful keyboard, and as you can see, it is a membrane keyboard. Not to forget that it is not a mechanical keyboard, which a lot of people think it is. Now, this is why it is so cheap. It is under $100, I believe $150 in Australia, but it is a beautiful keyboard. But it is a membrane keyboard. That's why it is so cheap. But SteelSeries have come out and said this is the world's fastest keyboard. I'm not too sure how accurate that is, but it is pretty good when typing and gaming. Now that is because the keys are really chunky, the keys are really close, and a lot of things are easy to access everywhere. Now, being a casual gamer, not really a hardcore gamer, medium gamer, I don't know what's the one in between, but I don't really use macro keys, as I said before in my the mechanical keyboard review, but I did use them for video editing and Photoshop editing, and I did use them in a few games, which did come in handy, and I think, this thing isn't too bad, and I can understand why MMO, players love them. Now, going to the nitty-gritty stuff of it, you can actually see the macro keys right here on the top layer are actually slightly raised, and that means you can do those heavy combinations where you can just sort of hit the top and just roll off the key, which is also really nice. It's just a slightly raised, so when you actually put your finger in there, it just slightly you just press it automatically, both of them together, which is also really nice. Now, the top layer does have up to 24 macro keys, all programmable, and then on the side, you do have 10. Now, not to be confused, this is the SteelSeries Apex keyboard, not the SteelSeries Raw keyboard. Now, the Raw keyboard is just about the same, but it's just, one LED backplate, which is white, and it has only 5 on the side and only 8 on the top, I think so. And 2 layers. Now this keyboard has up to 4 layers, which you can actually program. Now, layers being profiles. Now, as you can see here, you can't probably see me changing through it, but it is sort of changing color when I dim down the lights. You can sort of take a look at that. Now, on the side of the numlock page, you do have your play, pause, skip button, and also brightness control, which is also really nice. Now, I know you can actually see it here, like it's a big chunky wrist plate right here. Now, a lot of keyboards have that option to actually attach that, whereas the Apex keyboard is just permanently there. Now, it's actually really nice because the keyboard is actually really slim, and as you can see there, it's actually like a blade, if that. And what's really nice about this keyboard is the wrist thing. I forget what it's called, wrist plate? Let's just call it a wrist plate. And it's really nice, it sits really well on your hands, and so you can actually take a look at the spacebar. It's a nice little chunky block right there, and at first using it, I was like, this is really weird, but actually when using it when gaming, I understand why they did that, and this is from the feedback from the gamers who actually use, SteelSeries products. They actually took that in, and it makes it a lot easier because you're not really typing, you're not actually using that little rectangular spacebar. You have this nice chunky one where you can just actually rest your thumb on it and just press it like so. Now, also, if you take a closer look, you can actually see they brought back the Windows key where they didn't have it in their previous keyboards and everything, because from, again, feedback, people wanted it back. Now, the great thing about this is it is programmable. So if you don't like it, you can also turn it off, or you can actually program it to another button, which is really sweet, I think. Now, as I said before, it has 4 different layers. You have up to 5 different sections now. So you got one section here, one section up here, and then you got the keyboard. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. Now you can actually program, I believe not each individual light, but like each individual section of it, which is also really nice, up to like 16.8 million colors, which is pretty crazy. Now, I think that's really cool, and again, when I dim down the lights, you take a look at it, and it just looks really nice, that the different colors and the different combinations that you can do. Now, this uses the SteelSeries engine, as I mentioned before in the Heat Orange review, that that same app or software that you can use, and you can do all the programs in there, the different settings, the different profiles, and you can basically program nearly everything on here. Every color changes. You can do the logo, you can do the keys, you can do the side plates over here. It's really nice. Now, on the keyboard, again, before I forget, it does have a hub on the back, which you can sort of see here. Two USB hubs, which is really nice, but you do have to give up one USB on your keyboard, obviously, because this does have two, it does have two, you know, sort of USBs they have to plug in, one to power the keyboard and the other one for the hub, which I guess is fair. But a lot of people I've talked to said they don't really like having USB hubs on here. Now, I don't know why, but you know, when I was using it, I actually plugged it out, like, because you know the braided cable is actually split. I'll show you, but I'm actually powering the keyboard right now. Now, SteelSeries has said this is the fastest keyboard on the market. Now, being a membrane keyboard, it's really hard to tell. Now, when actually using the mechanical keyboard, I was actually used to that. And when I went back to using a membrane keyboard, it was really weird. It felt really tactile in a way. But it took, you know, it took a little bit, half an hour to get used to that, and I'm all good. I'm back to gaming on a membrane keyboard. And it is really nice because I do love that spongy feeling, and especially when it's a really nice, sort of, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but you know how some gaming keyboards just feel really good, but man, those mechanical keyboards, I don't know, they're just something out of this world, and I think you have to be a real fan, and it's a real split decision, you know, being, a lot of gamers think, no, you have to have a mechanical keyboard to be a proper gamer, but really, you know, the accessories doesn't really make what kind of gamer you are, it's, you know, who you are really, but I'll leave that up to you guys. Now, one thing I didn't like about this keyboard, which, when I took it out of the box, I was like, why? It made no sense at all. Now, going to the back right here, you know, it's not really fancy at all. But, you know, so there's nothing fancy like any other keyboard. It's just a basically backplate. But as you can see here, the legs come off. Now, I didn't know why they did this. This is really weird. So that's the Ryzen ones. So I'll put those down there. And then you get this bag where you can actually, I won't take them out, but they're actually like, you know, just really basically half the size of this. And I was just wondering why do that? Like, it made no sense at all. Like, I don't understand why they could have just gone with the flippy, you know, thing on the back of the thing. Like, wouldn't that have been easier? Is this, like, I don't know why. Like, maybe is this because it gets worn out and then you can change them? I don't know. It made no sense at all. So let's turn down the lights and take a closer look at the LEDs. As I dim down the lights, as you can see, you know, I have it fully backlit. It's really nice. It's on this, you know, really nice, you know, cool blue color. I don't know what colors these. Even it looks greenish if that. But let's go to layer one. Get a layer one, and as you can see, it has all the individual keys light up. It's really nice. Layer two, full backlit. Layer three, and layer four. Now remember, these are all programmable. You can change the colors whatever you can. I mean, if you want to make it a rainbow, you can make it a rainbow, but it's really nice. It just looks beautiful with that. So I really wanted to keep this review short and simple, but it ended up just blabbering on about something. Now, the thing about this keyboard, it is a really nice keyboard, and for the price point under $100, for me personally, I think that's pretty cheap. Now, I know a lot of people out there might find $100 pretty expensive for a keyboard, but there's keyboards out there which cost a mint compared to what you get and the features of this keyboard. I mean, you got heaps of macro keys, you know, the full, you know, keyboard is programmable in its sense, like you can, you know, LEDs combination. So if you're really heavy hardcore MMO gamer, or even just a gamer in general and looking for a new keyboard, and you're not really fancying a mechanical keyboard, because sometimes they can be quite expensive, and really you just get a keyboard in itself. So basically, you know, that Cooler Master keyboard is just this right here, whereas the Apex keyboard, as you can see, it's huge. It's going to take up your entire desk. But it is a real keyboard. It is really nice, especially again going back to those MMO games. You know, macro keys, everything is programmable. And I think if you are really good with macro keys, I'm really bad with them because I cannot remember what is M7. Like, I just don't know. Like, I just forget. I'm really bad. But if you are really good at that, I'm sure that's going to really improve your gaming. And maybe this Apex keyboard might help it down the track. But anyway, guys, hopefully you can check out my written review on thepuppetrongeek.com. Sorry for babbling. If you did like this video, leave me a thumbs up. If you like my content and want to see more content, subscribe. And hopefully we can check out some more gaming keyboards. Even though I'm not much of a hardcore gamer, but I love seeing them. Like, just love looking at them, love playing with them. And I think you guys, leave comments, leave your feedback below. If you have this keyboard, let me know what you think. You know, tell everyone, you know, to get it, don't get it. And what is your, you know, what keyboard are you using right now? Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys later. See ya.